Hi, welcome to the 10-minute wrap-up series. In this video, we will learn about the emotional intelligence, which is part of GS4 syllabus, which I coded it as E5. That is emotional intelligence, concepts, utilities, and application in administration and governance. Remember this syllabus, which is very important. Before starting a topic, let us go through previous year questions. The first question which was asked was in 2013. What is emotional intelligence? They started asking a topic by asking the concept, that is what is emotional intelligence and how can it be developed in the people and how does it help an individual in taking ethical decisions. The second question was, how will you apply emotional intelligence in administrative practices? This was directly asked from the syllabus, that is applications of emotional intelligence in administration. They asked how emotional intelligence can be applied in administrative practices. The third question was, emotional intelligence is the ability to make your emotions work for you instead of against you. Do you agree with this view? Discuss. This was asked in 2019. And the fourth question was, what are the main components of emotional intelligence? Can they be learned? Discuss. This theme is repeated. In 2013, they asked, how can it be developed in the people? And here they asked, can the emotional intelligence can be learned? In 2020. The fifth question was, in case of crisis of conscience, does emotional intelligence helps to overcome the same without compromising the ethical and moral stand that you likely to follow? Critically examine. This was asked in 2021. This was also repeated theme from 2013 itself. That is role of emotional intelligence in decision making. Here they asked, how does it help in individual to take ethical decisions? Here in 2021 they asked, whenever there is a crisis of conscience, how emotional intelligence, that is role of emotional intelligence to overcome, to take ethical and moral stands. In 2025 also there was a question on the same theme, that is role of emotional intelligence in decision making. In 2025, for any kind of social engineering by the successful implementing welfare schemes, a civil servant must use reason and critical thinking in an ethical framework. Justify this statement. That is using the reason and critical thinking, which is nothing but emotional intelligence. You can also link these concepts to aptitude, which is second point of ethics syllabus. The critical thinking and reasoning can be linked to the aptitude section of the syllabus also. Now let us see what all we need to remember to write an answer on emotional intelligence. In the introduction, you can start with the definition of emotional intelligence. That is, emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, manage, use emotions to guide thought and behavior. I repeat, emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, manage, and use emotions to guide the thought and behavior. Or you can also write this definition. That is, emotional intelligence is combination of emotional abilities and personal traits crucial for effective personal and professional functioning. I repeat, emotional intelligence is the combination of emotional abilities and personal traits crucial for effective personal and professional functioning. Now let us understand emotional intelligence through diagram. There are two steps of emotional intelligence. First one is awareness and recognition. One at the self level and another at the social level. The first one is we need to be self aware of our emotions. And the second step is to be self management of our emotions. And at the societal level, we need to be aware about the societal emotions. And also, we need social skills to manage the emotions of the society. Now, we will see the components of emotional intelligence given by Daniel Goleman, who is a prominent figure in the field of emotional intelligence. Here, given these components of emotional intelligence. First one is self-awareness, being aware of one's own emotions and strength and limitations. Self-regulation, that is controlling the emotional impulses and adapting to the changing situation. And the next step is self-motivation, using this internal drive to achieve the goals. And to be emotionally intelligent, we need to have empathy as a value, understanding others' emotions and perspectives. And the next and final step is handling the relationship. that is building and managing relationship by effective communication. I repeat these components of emotional intelligence. First step is to be self-aware of our emotions and our strengths and limitations. The second step is to regulate our emotions, that is self-regulation, controlling our emotional pulses and adapting to the changing situations. Third one is maintaining the self-motivation by using this internal drive to achieve our goals. The fourth and most important part of emotional intelligence is empathy, understanding others' emotions and perspectives. This is very important. This trait of empathy was showcased by Mahatma Gandhi, which made him one of the most emotionally intelligent person of the world. And by having empathy, we should handle the relationship, building and managing the relationship by effective communication without hurting the feelings of others. If you understand the emotions of others, we will effectively communicate and build the relationships. Now we will see how this emotional intelligence can be used in our day to day life. How emotional intelligence can be used in our day to day life. Between the stimulus and the response, there is a space. In this space lies our freedom and power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and the freedom. In simple words, emotional intelligence allows us to respond instead of react. Emotional intelligence helps us to respond carefully instead of reaction with anger. Now let us come back to the topic, that is role of emotional intelligence in civil service. The first point is better policy targeting. That is emotional intelligence bureaucrats helps in formulating more empathetic and effective policy design. Emotional intelligence helps in stress management. That is, emotionally intelligent civil servant can regulate their emotions during high pressure situations, that is, political pressures, or during disaster response. And motivating subordinates. Emotional intelligence allows bureaucrats to recognize and respond to the emotional state of team members and motivates the team members and helps in team cohesion. Improved decision making. Emotional intelligence helps in distinguishing between emotionals which are relevant to the problem and the other distractions which are irrelevant and ensures the balanced decisions. Effective communication. Emotional intelligence helps in communicating effectively. Emotional intelligent officer convey the policies with empathy and clarity, fostering the trust in subordinates and the public. The public trust is built through conveying the policies, that is effective communication through empathy and clarity, which builds public trust. Let us summarize these points. What is the role of emotional intelligence in civil services? Better policy targeting, stress management, motivating the subordinates, and improved decision making and effective communication. Now let us see how this emotional intelligence can be developed and improved among the people or among the civil servants. First method is sensitive training. It improves the intra-group harmony between the officers who come from different social and cultural backgrounds. Role playing, this is the method used to train the officers by playing the role of frontline workers. They understand the field level difficulties. Communication skill training. The press briefings, emotional intelligence officer act in composure and clarity in spite of provocation by the media. By providing the skill training, that is communication skill training, the emotionally intelligence officer during the press briefings acts in composure and with clarity even when there is a provocation by the media. Inspiration from the role models. This method can be used to inculcate the emotional intelligence by making officers to study emotionally intelligent leaders and reformers and build the qualities of resilience, courage, and ethical behavior in public service. Assertive training. This is nothing but expressing the authority without aggression. Officers need to be empathetic, not aggressive. Let us summarize this point. How emotional intelligence can be developed or improved by sensitive training, by role playing, by communication skill training, inspiration from the role models, and the assertive training. Now let us summarize what is the role of emotional intelligence in bureaucracy in the diagram format. The need of emotional intelligence in bureaucracy. The first point is for the better public service delivery, ethical and inclusive governance, that is upholding the principles of inclusiveness, justice, and fairness, and empathetic leadership during the disaster relief, and conflict resolution and peace building. These are the need of emotional intelligence in bureaucracy. Now let us see what we can write in the conclusion. Emotional intelligence is not a soft skill, but a strategic tool in transformational governance. And also, emotional intelligence fosters the compassionate bureaucracy and enables the last mile delivery. That is, ensures Antodeya principle. That is, upliftment of the last person. I repeat, emotional intelligence is not a soft skill, but a strategic tool in transformational governance. And it fosters compassionate bureaucracy and enables the last mile delivery. That is, Antodeya principle, upholding the Antodeya principle. That is, upliftment of last person. Now, let us summarize what all we have seen in this video. I have analyzed the PYQs of emotional intelligence, where we have come up with the outcome that the major theme is role of emotional intelligence in decision making in public service as well as in personal life. And I have given you the introduction, I have given you the diagram, and explained the components of emotional intelligence by the model given by Daniel Goleman. And we have seen role of emotional intelligence in civil service, and also we have seen how emotional intelligence can be developed or improved among the officers. And at last, I have given you the diagram, that is role of emotional intelligence in bureaucracy. And last, we have seen the conclusion. I will come up with the next important video. Until then, I hereby signing off, one of the unreserved mind of UPSC community. Thank you.